Today is 6 November 2025, Thursday class. So as usual, we'll be continuing our sharing from this Heart Sutra, second edition book. We are at page 179. Okay, so we will compose our mind, develop the Saddha Virya, then mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无药师佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨。南无地藏王菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨，南无佛菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布多巴嘎瓦，布当巴嘎วันตัง阿比瓦提米。สวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิอาดินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดัฏฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Okay, let's pay respect to Puja. Bedang pujemi. Dhammang pujemi. Sanghang pujemi. Relax body and mind. Maintain awareness. Then continue to stabilize the awareness by just not trying to do anything. Just maintain awareness. Whatever arises, aware. Finish. Then silence your mind. Just maintain that clarity of inner awareness. When you just relax and maintain awareness, there is no thought, but there will be activity arising from our six sense bases. When sense data come into contact with the sense bases and the consciousness is there, when these three comes together, they trigger off what we call the arising of consciousness together with its content of consciousness. And when you are aware, you can understand what is going on, and you can see clearly how you function as a human being, how consciousness arises, how the form and mind become conscious. Conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. At the moment of consciousness, what happens after that is very important. Most people fail to meditate because upon contact of sense data with the sense basis and the consciousness or the mundane mind, it triggers what we call the consciousness, the respective sense of consciousness. So like the physics experiment, the light bulb lights up, it like make you conscious. Then the problem with the mundane mind is it has too much conditioning, too much knowledge, memories, everything. Your views, your opinion, your conditioning and belief system. So all this will come in to create the perception, the stirring of the mind, the reaction, everything. That's how thought arises. That's how one becomes heedless. Then sometimes the curiosity can also trigger off thought activity. Sometimes it's due to the mental hindrance, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, sloth and torpor, worry, doubt. And the main one is sensual desire and ill will, because it arises through our habitual tendency. We tend to develop the habits of liking certain sense experience and disliking certain type of sense experience. So our like and dislike, our pleasant and unpleasant sense experience is a result of all this, what we call habitual tendency, born of conditioning, born of our views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, etc. So awareness-based meditation is to maintain that silence within, just the awareness. Develop the silent mind to be aware. When you are able to do that, you can understand what is going on. Then you can see things as they are and develop the wisdom out of it. Then the delusion, that conditioned living being, to become involved with whatever arises, will start to fade away. So that is the main intent and purpose of awareness-based meditation, to train the mind so that it is quiet, peaceful, tranquil, without thought. And that is awareness itself, or sati, mindfulness. When you are mindful, aware, you are without thought. Then when you can stabilize it, it becomes ever mindful. Then when you use it to cultivate the meditation as taught by the Buddha, which is to insight in the phenomena, to see things as they are, and to realize the truth, then it becomes heedfulness. And to develop the wisdom to live life, we need to cultivate Noble Eightfold Path. Without Noble Eightfold Path, the embodiment of this Noble Eightfold Path factor, you cannot live life. You cannot become an Arya. An Arya is a noble one that has noble qualities. He understands the nature's law that governs life and existence, especially the three spiritual laws. Then with this right understanding, he will know how to arise the right thought, right action, right speech, and right way of living life. Then you will constantly develop the cultivation of the four right effort to avoid all evil and purify our mind, develop wholesomeness, goodness. And this is what meditation is all about. The advice of all Buddhas, Sammasambuddha, Dhammapada verse 183 is just to cultivate the three advice. How to avoid all evil through keeping the precept. We are training the mind to be mindful, to be ever mindful, and constantly meditative, ever mindful, to avoid all evil and to prevent the negativity of action, speech, and thought process from arising. Then after that, the second right effort is to prevent all this wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action from manifesting or arising. The third right effort and fourth right effort is more towards the development of wholesome virtue, wholesome quality. The third right effort is to cultivate whatever wholesome virtue and mind state that are still not in us, especially the Noble Eightfold Path qualities, from right view leading to right thought, right speech, right action. Then the way we live here, our life in accordance with all this understanding. So remember the four support that can bring forth the stability of inner awareness is very important. So whatever arises, just maintain the awareness within. Always remember to relax into every mind state that arises, no matter what that mind state is. Whether it's tranquility, stillness, calmness, or nimitta arising. All this, they will condition us into certain mind states. Sometimes it develops absorption, concentration. But when you are just aware, all this movement, they hardly move. But when you are just aware, you are just in a relaxed state of inner awareness, without thought activity. Without thought activity, there is no duality. So there is no like and dislike, stirring of the mind, no mental activity and movement. The sankhara will be very quiet. That's how one can realize one's true mind. When thought ceases, the pure inner awareness manifests. Actually, it was there all the while, because that is our true mind, our primordial mind, before the arising of thought, before the arising of all the sankhara activity, aggregates of mind, etc. Okay, with this, maybe I will set the alarm and you can develop the meditation, awareness-based meditation on your own for 30 minutes. Okay. For those who already know how to stabilize the inner awareness, then you can move on to try the fourth support, which is trust, TRUST. Trust your inner nature to develop the meditative movement and understanding. Trust, in order to do it well, is like the word trust, means don't interfere with the thinking, don't interfere with your memory, your views, your opinion, your condition. Don't let them come in to interfere with your mundane activity. Whatever arises, just aware, finish. No need to know, no need to do anything. Then the thought will not proliferate. So what you need to do is, when you have trained your mind to be aware, then you can silence everything and stay at the heart area. When you stay at the heart area and you develop the trust, means don't try to do anything. Don't focus, don't concentrate, don't do anything. Just completely silent, relax. Maintain that silent mind. Then that silent mind with the pure awareness will detect on its own whatever that it can detect, because it's sensitive. If there is any vibration or heartbeat or whatever movement that arises within the heart area, just be with it, aware. No need to arise the thought to try to control it or become curious over it. That is creating the thought again. So when you are just aware, then the awareness and the vibration or that movement will become one. There is specific phenomenal awareness. The awareness is just aware of that movement, that vibration, or that activity at the heart area. So you just silence everything and stay with it until the mind becomes very quiet, very still. Then you come to a profound understanding that living being has two minds. One is the primordial pure awareness nature before the arising of thought, before the stirring, before the movement. And all this are important understanding, and it can awaken you. It can lead to wisdom. But more important is the fourth support will help you to locate the gateway to your nature. When you are completely silent, without thought, just maintaining awareness, then it will detect by itself. The moment it has the ability to detect the gateway, something very beautiful will happen. All your external yin-yang energy will melt inside there. Then the movement, everything, it will move by itself. It will transform by itself. That's why it's just the witnessing. The pure awareness is like that nature witness everything. It's like silently observing what is going on. So silent observation of what is, which is the reality within the moment, is meditation, awareness-based meditation. And that can develop a lot of wisdom. And it will lead to the internal movement, which is the internal transformation This internal transformation will arise because when the gateway is being located, the yin-yang external energy will melt through the gateway to your heart area and transform into pure energy, wisdom energy. And this pure energy or wisdom energy is intelligent on its own. It will know what to do. It will know what to trigger. Yeah. So allow the movement to continue on its own. This one is the internal meditative movement. And like the pure awareness training, you just silence everything and allow the pure awareness nature to be the witnessing. It's just like the silent observation, or that pure awareness nature just witness, the silent witnessing of what is the reality. Okay, now I let you meditate on your own. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Then try to maintain whatever inner mindfulness, inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. These are the mind state. These are the mind state that you need to develop until it's very stable, so that you are mindful in the midst of life. The daily mindfulness becoming more and more continuous until it becomes a part of you. When that happens, your mind is like enter sati, which means everything that manifests from the conscious aspect of daily life is in sati. That is the deep meaning of mind entering sati. It means the true mind and the mundane mind has merged into one movement. So all of your movement or sense door activity, they are in sati. When mind enters sati, everything you do is in sati. Seeing is in sati, hearing is in sati, smell, taste, tactile, and thought activity, they are all in sati. Means your true mind, which is a pure awareness nature, is aware of all this activity and movement. And that is the stability of mindfulness that is needed for us to be ever mindful, constantly meditative, leading to heedfulness. We will do the invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities or Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release. Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atraha Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Sabdan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sabdan Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sabdan Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Peso Bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati satta deva manusanang buddho bhagavati Swakato bhagavata dhammo sanditiko akaliko ehipaseko opanayiko Pachyatang veditabo vinohiti Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Ujupatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Nyayapatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Samicipatipanno bhagavato sāvaka Yadidang catari purisa yukani atta purisa pugala esa bhagavato sāvaka ahuneyo pahuneyo dakkeneyo Anjali karaniyo anuttarang punyang ketang lokasati sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you can be seated. Then we'll continue from where we stopped. Turn to page 179 under section 3.3. Yeah? Okay, this part is understanding the meditation as taught by the Buddha. Yeah? So this is like the summary. Yeah? So when it comes to meditation, we need to understand the essence of the Buddha's teaching. He used the Dhammapada verses 21, 22 and 23 very clearly expound what you need to develop as the mind state that can lead to this so-called meditative awakening or enlightenment. So under Dhammapada verse 21, 22, 23, he confirmed the importance of heedfulness in order to become enlightened. So as we have gone through, Dhammapada verse 21, the Buddha says, heedfulness is the path to the deathless. The heedful never die. Whereas heedlessness is the path to the dead. The heedless are as if dead. Then under verse 22, he said, distinctly able to differentiate between heedfulness and heedlessness, the wise one means those who have the wisdom, they will intend on heedfulness. And when they do that, they rejoice in the rhyme of the Aryas, means the Aryas are the enlightened ones. The rhyme of the Arya means they are with the enlightened ones. That's why it's again a confirmation that with heedfulness, you will become enlightened one. And finally, Dhammapada verse 23 is what heedfulness is all about. He said, the ever mindful, constantly meditative, and steadfast one means you hold on to these two types of practices of mind state, will realize the supreme place of Nibbana. So this definition of apamada or heedfulness is very important. So that's why under the next line, I define it for you. Heedfulness or apamada means The mind state that is ever mindful or continuous sati means constantly meditative and ever mindful. So the ever mindful part is the stability of sati or mindfulness that you develop. That's why when we train our mind to have this inner awareness or mindfulness, it is to stabilize the mind so that it is not heedlessly lost in thought, wandering off, thinking, distracted. So when you can train your mind to be aware, then stabilizing it to be ever mindful, that is the first stage of heedfulness. That's why that training is very important. When you are mindful, you have not stabilized it, which means it is not ever mindful. Ever mindful means it's continuously mindful, like the daily mindfulness. It has become a part of you. Throughout the day, you are just aware most of the time. And hardly any thought. You only need to arise the thought when you need to use it. When you need to understand something or communicate. So all this, when you develop the training to be aware, then stabilizing it to be ever mindful, then use it to meditate or to cultivate the Dhamma and the meditation as taught by the Buddha. We are the first turning, second turning, and third turning of the Four Noble Truths. Combining these two, it will transform the cultivator into somebody who is heedful, ever mindful, constantly meditative. When you are ever mindful, that constantly meditative can be developed quite easily. The difficult part is the first part. Understanding what is mindfulness or awareness, then stabilizing it to be ever mindful means you are mindful throughout the day. Every action, every movement in the present moment. All activity, whether physical, mental, or nature's activity, that mind is always there, ever mindful. Then when you are ever mindful, you can see things as they are and develop the wisdom, or you can insight into phenomena and awaken to the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And it can also allow one to develop the understanding of what is going on within life. When you see clearly all this movement and activity, then you start to realize that everything that arises, there are causes and conditions behind. That's why the Buddha realized that all phenomena that manifest and arise, they are dependent originating phenomena, condition arising phenomena. Dependent originating means dependent on certain causes and conditions, it manifests. That's why the Buddha told the monk at that time very frequently. He said, whatever arises within our existential world, there are causes and conditions behind. And these causes and conditions, if you are mindful, you can see them very clearly. Then also in his 5 daily contemplation, the last one, he said, we are all born of our karma, heir to our karma, conditions supported by our karma. We are what we are because of karma. If that is the case, then whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. Means these causes and conditions that trigger off the reality or the present moment manifestation of activity or life situation has a lot to do with karma. That's why the law of karma is very powerful. It encompasses almost 99.99% of our life activity, where it involves the karmic volition. The Buddha says it's cetana that I call karma. So when we arise, the mundane mind to live life, to do things, there is always this mundane mind's consciousness that have the content within, and that content will give rise to mental intention. So if you don't have right view, you cannot arise a right thought, technically. That's why the whole of meditation center on this. You must have mindfulness, awareness, to see clearly how this mental intention that went in create karmic negativity, how the karmic volition, born of the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion, condition negativity of karmic friction. And all this, if you are mindful, you can witness them, you can see them clearly. Then you know how to actually attend to it. Then you will start to understand life clearly. What actually conditions us into karmic negativity? How do we get angry? How does fear arise? How does envy, jealousy arise? How does hatred arise? How does sorrow and lamentation, mental and physical suffering arise? So all this, without mindfulness, you cannot understand. So the arising of mind state, that's why the Buddha said under the fourth foundation of mindfulness, the first category of cultivation is mindfulness of the five mental hindrances. How does this five mental hindrance of sensual desire, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness of mind and doubt arise? So in the teaching is clearly explained. He said when you are mindful, aware, then you will understand how the unarisen five aggregates the five aggregates of form and mind is the second category of practice. How the five mental hindrance comes to be. How the unarisen mental hindrance comes to be. Then you continue to be mindful and aware. Not by doing anything, just by completely silent and stay within the awareness, to be the witness, the silent observation of what is, what happened within the reality. Then you will come to know how the arisen mental hindrance cease to be. No matter what mind state, it can be anger, hatred, fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow or lamentation. They are dependent originating mind state. They are not intrinsic within us. That's why when we maintain awareness, we can see how it arises. It arises due to wrong thought. That's why when you see something you don't like, hear something you don't like, or recall something you don't like, fear arises, anger arises. That shows fear and anger was not there before they arise, which means it's not intrinsic within you. That mind state is dependent originating. That's why it's called a thought, an emotion. Then when you continue to stay with the emotion without giving it any more wrong thought energy to continue to stir and make you feel the fear and the anger, then it will cease on its own. So through that you come to realize that the true mind, without the wrong thought, has none of all this. They are not intrinsic within our true nature. So what you need to do is to meditate, is to silence everything and let the true mind return to its natural state before the stirring, before that wrong thought arises to condition the movement. So realizing this is wisdom. That's why when you know how the unarisen mental hindrance comes to be, and how when you continue to be aware, how it ceases to be, then you develop a profound understanding that all along all this mind state or emotion, like anger, fear, jealousy, sorrow, lamentation, etc., they are non-intrinsic. They are not you. They are just dependent originating mind state that arise and pass away following causes and conditions. So that profound understanding will awaken you when you realize anger was never you, hatred was never you. Then don't be deluded, don't be foolish like before. A lot of cultivators, they fail to understand a very important point. Normally they were taught you need to meditate to be enlightened. So after trying for many years, some 20, 30, 40 years, in and out of retreat, attending all the so-called meditative training, and yet when they come out of it, when they return to daily life, they realize anger still arises, fear still arises, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation still arise. All this negativity of mind state, they haven't rooted it out. Then they say, ayo, after meditating for so long, after practicing or cultivating the Dhamma for so long, I still have anger, I still have fear. So they thought they have not done well. In fact, all these are delusions, saccadity, self-delusion. You think anger is you, you think fear is you. They are dependent originating mind state. None of all these are you. This is mundane mind activity. They are not intrinsic within our true mind, our true nature, which is just pure awareness. So see this, understand this, and awaken to it. Then meditation becomes very easy. Whatever arises, silent, be with it. Then let it cease. The moment it ceases, you came to great awakening and understanding. Then after that, you contemplate, reflect, to stabilize the understanding. Once the understanding stabilizes, it becomes yoniso manasikara, wisdom at the moment of sense experience. Then next time when you see something, hear something, smell something, taste something, or tactily feel something, or think or something, your mind will not stir like before, deludedly. You will not go and create all the unnecessary, heedless thought activity and movement. You will develop the wisdom to see things as they are. Because the yoniso manasikara, which is wisdom that you have contemplated and realized, they will spontaneously manifest at the moment of sense experience. Thing is just the way it is. Condition like that, things will be like that. People are just the way they are. Deluded people do deluded things. Selfish people do selfish things. Angry people do angry things. That's the way they are. So the world is the world. Condition like that, things will be like that. Which means you can be at peace with all situations. You need not stir your mind. You need not create the unnecessary anger, hatred, fear, worry, anxiety. sorrow eliminated. Well, what arises within the moment is the reality. What you need to understand is reality is, like the Buddha said, whatever arises, there are causes and conditions behind. So if causes and conditions already set, things has to go this way, cannot be otherwise. That's why if you want things your way, which is not nature's conditioning the movement, then suffering will arise. There is a universal characteristic. Then you start to understand why the Buddha said the inherent three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, they are in the midst of life and nature. They are called universal characteristics. All phenomena exhibit it. Where all phenomena arise dependent on condition, dependent on originating. That's why it's a condition arising phenomena. So our existential world is a conditional world. Nothing is a permanent, unchanging entity. You need causes and conditions for phenomena to arise, for things to manifest. Then when conditions cease to be, the phenomena cease to be. As simple as that. Then when you know all this follow nature's law, then you want things your way, you suffer. That's why when things don't go your way, which is the first noble truth, reality, one of the reality, when you cannot get what you want, when your whatever things that you crave for cannot arise, means you cannot get what you want. Suffering will be the result. Well, what you want is a craving, not based on nature's condition. If the nature's condition is already in that direction, it cannot be otherwise. So if you want something to arise or manifest in accordance with what you want or what you wish, then it's not a craving, it's an understanding. That's why ambition is an understanding. You work towards it. You don't go and deludedly through shortcut or whatever, or unscrupulous way to realize it. That is non-Dhamma, delusion. But when you have the understanding and the Dhamma, then you realize, if I want to be successful in whatever I do, I need to develop the training, the skill, the understanding. That's how you do it. So if you want to excel in spiritual wisdom and activity, then you have to be very skillful in the spiritual cultivation, the Dhamma understanding. So all this, they will manifest on their own. And when they manifest on their own, through silent observation of what is, you develop the wisdom and the understanding, then your mind will no longer be deluded like before. Then you can see things as they are, accept the reality within the moment. That's why the real understanding is, the Buddha says, Jnana Dasana. Learn to see things as they are, not in accordance with what your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system tell you. But that is not the truth. That is based on your knowledge. And knowledge is not wisdom. Knowledge is just certain thing that you learn in life. We are using the mundane thinking. Thought-based approach. Thought-based approach is memory. Memory is of the past. It's never within the moment. Then how can they understand life which is within the moment? That's why the Dhamma is akaliko, can be realized in the here and the now. Sanditiko, sorry. The akaliko is timeless, beyond thought, beyond time. You cannot use thought to approach spiritual understanding. So all this, when it becomes clear, then that wisdom, when it dawns upon the cultivator, any time, anywhere, any place, whatever arises within existence, that wisdom will spontaneously arise to prompt the form and mind. The Dhamma will arise. Sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha, sabbe Dhamma anattato. So all this, they will arise. Then the essential Dhamma, the whatever understanding, they will manifest. Yeah. So when you have developed the cultivation correctly, then all this become like arising naturally. We call it the spontaneous understanding from the heart, from the nature. It just manifests. Then the cultivator of the way, the form and mind that is linked to that wisdom will understand, will awaken. Okay, we go back to the notes. Yeah. So now, after explaining Dhammapada verse 21, 22, and what is heedfulness, so you have to really commit yourself diligently with faith to cultivate this heedfulness. Because the moment you are heedful, then you are destined for enlightenment. And it's just that simple, not that difficult. Train your mind, develop the mindfulness, stabilize it, then use it to cultivate the Noble Eightfold Path as taught by the Buddha, and also the meditation as taught by the Buddha via the three turnings of the Four Noble Truths. Means constantly listening to the true Dhamma, first turning, wisdom. The Buddha called it Suttamaya Panya. Then after that, reflect, contemplate and inquire into all these essential Dhamma that he has taught us, all the Four Noble Truths that he has taught us, following his three turning. Contemplation, reflection, inquiry is second turning. When you turn it the second time, in the teaching under Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, the Buddha actually taught the three turning. He said, under the first Noble Truth, this Noble Truth of dukkha is to be understood. So that contemplative guideline is to be understood. So you ask, how can you understand it? How can you develop the understanding of it? That's why you have to go through the contemplation, the reflection. Why did the Buddha say birth is suffering? Old age, sickness and death is suffering. Do you see that? Have you realized that? Have you understood that? So to be understood is a very powerful word. If you have not understood, means it's only knowledge. So this Noble Truth, the first Noble Truth of dukkha, means the reality of life and existence, the eight condition, that condition living being suffering. Yeah. That's why it's called a Noble Truth. But then, under the teaching, the Buddha said, this eight reality that manifests and trigger of suffering when you don't have the Dhamma understanding or teaching as taught by him is a reality. And it's a noble truth. When you understand this truth, you become noble ones. You can awaken. Then under the second noble truth, he said, there is a cause behind all suffering that is mentioned under the first noble truth. And basically, what is the cause? Craving, born of sakkayaditthi. Yeah. Then under the second turning of the second noble truth, the Buddha said, this craving, which is the cause of all suffering, conditioned by sakkayaditthi or self-delusion, is to be severed or abandoned. if you cannot develop the wisdom to sever it or abandon it, then you cannot free. So you have to train your mind to develop the ability to sever and abandon. So the first right effort that the Buddha taught us is the answer to that training. There are 5 ways, the Buddha said, to abandon the unwholesome thought, action and speech that has a reason. First way is to think of the direct opposite wholesome thought is still thought-based, not really that penetrative. Then the second way is to think of the consequence or the danger of holding on to that wrong thought, wrong speech, and wrong action. So this one gives us the urgency. It's still thought-based. So when you realize that your life is being threatened, so you will determine to abandon it. Why? Because if you hold on to this wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action, it will condition your negativity of karmic. And this negativity of karmic will give rise to a lot of karmic debt. So when the karmic friction arises, suffering will be the result. Your life, you hold the key to your own life destiny. To be happy or to be miserable is entirely your choice. So choose wisely. Choose to be happy. That's why you have to avoid all evil. You have to abandon it. That's why you will develop the resolve, determination to abandon all this wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action that has the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion. And then you determine to cultivate. Cultivate what? Cultivate the Dhamma, the basic understanding of Dhamma. What constitutes evil? The evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion condition evil. Because when you have these 3 evil root of all evil, it will make you evil. That's why these are evil roots that make you evil. So you have to abandon them. And how do we abandon them? After you know these 3, you have to go into it, reflect, contemplate and inquire. What is greed? It's not just your greediness, your craving, your like and dislike, your covetousness, possessiveness, when you want things your way. All these are part of the evil roots of greed, or in Pali the Buddha called lobha. So greed is not just greediness. All your selfish intent is part of greed. Without this greed, you won't become selfish. You won't become violent. You won't become deluded. And these 3 evil roots, they are rooted in sakkaya-ditthi. Without sakkaya-ditthi, actually greed and hatred cannot arise. Then you go into the contemplation, reflection and inquiry. What constitutes hatred after you understand what is greed? It's not when you hate people. No. Your envy, jealousy is also part of this evil root of hatred. Your dislike, your whatever negativity or mind state, they are part of this evil root. Then delusion. What constitutes delusion? The main culprit is sakkaya-ditthi, self-delusion. So for self-delusion, sakkaya-ditthi, it manifests fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow and lamentation. All these are part of delusion, or what we call self-delusion. In Pali it's called moha. So greed is lobha, hatred is dosa, then moha is sakkaya-ditthi or self-delusion. So greed, hatred and delusion. Delusion here refers to self-delusion. When you attach to the five aggregate of form and mind, thinking that it's a permanent, unchanging entity, believing that this is what you are, then the ego, the egoic mind or the personality arises, then you believe you exist. When you have that wrong thought or self-delusion, then you want to own things, possess things, control things. Then when you cannot get what you want, you become angry, you become violent. That's why it will condition you to kill, to cheat, deceive, harm. So all the five precepts will be broken. That's why when you understand what constitutes evil, then is the beginning of learning Dhamma. Then when you learn already, how you put it into practice, how do you abandon greed, hatred, and delusion. So the first two thought-based, think of the direct opposite wholesome state, and the consequence of it is to help you initially to approach the training. Then you realize these are not effective. The more effective one is the third way, which is mindfulness, heedfulness training. So the Buddha said, the third way is not to do anything. Just silence your mind and maintain awareness. Then when you do that, you will be able to witness the disappearance of that mind state. That is what the third way is, mindfulness way. As taught in the Satipatthana Sutta, the fourth foundation of mindfulness, the first category. So the first category is mindfulness of the five mental hindrances, which I explained. So once you can do that, then you develop more deep and stable wisdom. Then when you have that, as per Avijja Sutta, step one is to have Dhamma friends. And when you have Dhamma friends, you have the condition or opportunity to listen to the three true Dhamma, which is step two. Then when you constantly develop the listening, you contemplate, reflect, then you develop the faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and his teaching. Because when the faith develops, where it stands up to investigation, and you realize all these are related to life, and very meaningful, very beautiful, and you can put it to test. That's why the Dhamma is ehipasiko, where is the truth. It will stand up to investigation. So all this develop the faith. Then after that, step 4 is initial wisdom, yoniso manasikara, which is a natural consequence of your training. That's why when you have developed the third way, which is the meditative approach, just by being mindful, aware, and heedful, then that wisdom unfolds. Then when it happens, that initial wisdom, which is yoniso manasikara, will prompt you at the moment of sense experience. Then, most of the time, from there onward, your mind does not stir like before and react to sense experience like before. It can be at peace at the moment of sense experience because of this step 4, yoniso manasikara. So this one comes about through constant reflection, contemplation, and inquiry. Then later on, the meditative training, the third turning, also can manifest that wisdom. Then once this one arises, your mind becomes more and more calm, more and more peaceful, more and more tranquil, more and more still, and space between thought arises. Most of the time you are just aware. That's why you will develop step 5, sati sampajana, mindfulness and clear comprehension of all action, all movement in the present moment. And that means you are constantly meditative, ever mindful. That's how heedfulness accumulate and develop. Then after that, step 6, you become Arya. Step 6 is, they call it sense restraint. Means you can never break your precept anymore. You have sense restraint because of the initial wisdom and the stability of mindfulness. Sati sampajana. Clear comprehension. Mindfulness and clear comprehension of all action, all activity and movement within the present moment. Then after you have this ability to keep your precept, means sense restraint is there, then the next step, which is step 7, is very easy. Because once you won't break your precept, then to train yourself to have the 3 types of right conduct, which is right thought, right speech, right action, become natural. Because you have sense restraint. You cannot break your precept anymore. So to cultivate all the what they call 3 types of right conduct, right thought, right speech, right action, is a matter of time. Because you only have to move on from the 4 right effort. The first, which you have already done, to the second, third, and the fourth. And second will also become very easy. Well, once you have the initial wisdom, the second right effort to prevent the rising of wrong thought, wrong speech, wrong action will manifest by itself. Well, when you have the initial wisdom, it will prompt you at the moment of sense experience. It will manifest. Then you cannot break your precept anymore. That's why sense restraint is there. Then third right effort is where you cultivate the virtue, the right thought, right speech, right action that are still not in you. And that is the beginning of training to develop wholesomeness. So this step, the 3 types of right conduct, you need to follow the Noble Eightfold Path. You need to develop the understanding of the essential Dhamma and evolve the understanding of what constitutes wrong thought, what constitutes right thought. When you know what constitutes wrong thought, then you will know how to abandon it. Then when you understand what constitutes right thought, leading to right speech, right action, and right way of living life, then you know how to cultivate it. So the third right effort to actually arise all the right thought, right speech, right action, and right way of living life will become part and parcel of the heedfulness training. That's how step 7 can be realized. Then after that, only you are supposed to do step 8, which is cultivation of the 4 foundations of mindfulness. That's why by that time you cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness, you would have become at least a Sakadagami. Sotapanaship is step 6. Then step 7 is actually you become a Sotapan. Then step 8 onward, that's why in the Satipatthana Sutta the Buddha mentioned, you will cultivate this following his instruction. Maximum 7 years, he said. Minimum 1 week. You will realize at least anagamiship if the last 5 factors, which are the more refined defilements, are already rooted out, then you will realize arahantaship. That's why the teaching is taught in such a way. Then after that, while you cultivate the 4 foundations of mindfulness, towards the end, before you really develop the penetrative bhavana panya, bhavana maya panya, the wisdom born of meditative training to awaken, you will realize step 9. Step 9 is the 7 factors of enlightenment. It will keep on arising. During that step, you will always encounter these 7 factors of enlightenment. Then you are sure that you have not deviated, you are on the right path. Otherwise, the 7 factors of enlightenment, which are responsible for your enlightenment, cannot arise. Yeah. Once you see them arising, keep on arising, then you will know you are on the right path. That's why after that, the natural consequence is step 10, enlightenment in the here and the now, becoming an arahant, and you decide to continue with the supreme vehicle training to become a bodhisattva, then you can continue to cultivate. So this is how all this can be realized. Now I go to paragraph 3. Yeah? So the first thing we must do when starting this meditation is to train our mind to be in sati, which is mindfulness, or the silent inner awareness. To be ever mindful without thought, most of the time first. So the first part of apamada is ever mindful. So you train your mind to be mindful, then stabilize it to be ever mindful without thought most of the time first. Then only use it to develop the meditation and cultivation of the Dhamma as taught by the Buddha, leading to heedfulness. So this trained mind in sati, which is stable, ever mindful, is the first prerequisite to be heedful. Okay? Then after that, the next paragraph. How do we train this mind to be mindful and aware most of the time? First, we must understand why are we most of the time heedless and not mindful or aware and peaceful. So according to the Buddha, it's because of the 5 mental hindrances that condition our heedless thinking, thereby stirring our mind and hindering our mind from returning to its original natural state of the meditative mind, means the natural state of the pure inner awareness, which is our meditative mind, before the stirring. That's why you let it return to its original state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness before the stirring. Then what are the 5 mental hindrances? We move it up. The essential desire, evil will, sloth and torpor, which is lethargic or sleepy mind. Then restlessness or agitated mind, due to fear, worry, anxiety. And for those who didn't keep their precepts. Then the last one is doubt. So the 5 mental hindrances condition our heedless thinking, lack of peace and awareness. So we must reverse all this. We are cultivating the opposite spiritual faculty, which is saddha, or confidence in the Buddha and his teaching, virya, or spiritual zeal or tenacity to cultivate heedfulness, then sati, or mindfulness or awareness, then samadhi, which is the collectedness of mind, unwavering mind, and finally panya, or wisdom. To cultivate the 5 spiritual faculty, the Buddha recommended the pre and post puja and devotional practice of paying respect and homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, and taking refuge in them, followed by renewal of 5 precepts, chanting the various salutations to the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, etc. The paying of respect and taking of refuge, followed by chanting of the various salutations, is to develop the faith, the saddha, followed by the virya, or spiritual faculty. Then the paying of respect, or mindfulness training, reverential salutation, is to develop the composed mind to be mindful while paying respect to the Buddha. So do not underestimate the importance of puja, pre and post, in the cultivation process. When sati is developed, samadhi will come to be. And with sati and samadhi, one will be able to see things as they are, to have the clarity of mind, to see things as they are without the interference of our thoughts, We are the silent mind, which is sati, in direct seeing, hence awakening to the truth, leading to the wisdom. Then to decondition the heedless thinking, we use the mind sweeping method as a skillful means to train our mind to be just relaxed and maintaining awareness. So this mind sweeping method, you can just feel and relax that part. No more thinking. So as you sweep the mind throughout your body, this will allow the mind to naturally relax and calm down on its own. We can also combine it with radiation of loving kindness or metta to develop the inner well-being and wholesome state of mind to enhance our meditation. After the mind sweeping method and metta training, our mind should be more relaxed, calm and peaceful. Then we can use it to develop sati, the silent mind with inner awareness. We are the anapanasati, or mindfulness of the in and out breath training. As taught by the Buddha in his Kayanupassana practices. After that, when sati is already quite stable, you must move on to the mindfulness of four posture, followed by sati sampajana, or daily mindfulness with clear comprehension training, as described in the Kayanupassana's first 6 category of practices. Once sati is established, use it to cultivate the 3 turnings of the Four Noble Truths and the 4 foundations of mindfulness to complete the full training. The real meditation as taught by the Buddha is the cultivation of the Noble Eightfold Path, leading to the cessation of all suffering and enlightenment in the here and now. So this is the gist of it. Then 3.4 is a summary. I just read through quickly. You can go back, reflect, contemplate. Training the mind to be heedful via puja and devotional practice, as explained just now. This is the religious routine, daily religious routine that can help you. That's why you must do this. Then mind sweeping method and metta. Then train your mind to develop anapanasati so that the mindfulness stabilizes. Otherwise you use the 4 support that I teach you. Then mindfulness of the 4 posture. This is daily mindfulness already. Then when the daily mindfulness stabilizes, you extend it to include all the connecting movement between standing, sitting, lying down, and walking. Walking. So these 4 posture, standing, sitting, walking, and lying down, the connecting movement between them will complete the whole of daily life training. Because throughout the day, you have to alternate between these 4 posture. When you wake up from the lying down posture, you will come to the sitting posture, then you stand, then you walk. And this activity, they have their connecting movement. That's why in the 4 foundation of mindfulness under Kayanupassana, is very clearly explained how you can develop it. Then after the 4 posture, you develop mindfulness and clear comprehension of all action and all movement in the present moment, which is daily mindfulness and clear comprehension training. Then number 2, once heedful, use the trained mind to cultivate the 3 turning of the Four Noble Truths and the 4 foundation of mindfulness or satipatthana practice. So this will complete the whole training. Okay, any more down there? No more. Okay, we will mark this page. Okay, this one, the next round. Okay, mark this page. We will come back to our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question you may have, or Dhamma discussion on any of the topic. Today's topic on meditation. Actually, today's topic is basically meditation. and also on whatever that you want to develop as understanding of how to apply what we have learned to help you actually resolve all your daily life problem or First Noble Truth realities problem.
Good evening, Brother Mrs. Steele and all.
Yes. Kayamita, yeah.
I just want to share that every time I listen to Brother Teo's talk, that clarity.
Yes, that
I
is
listen.
very true. Yeah, clarity continue to develop
Yeah,
because as you listen, that's why the second step in the Avijja Sutta, opportunity to constantly listen to the true Dhamma, and that is the one that will give you clarity, and that understanding actually stabilize, and that is a very important aspect of cultivation. That's why constantly listening to the true Dhamma with faith, with understanding, is very important. Very good.
And then on the like observing the silent mind. Sometimes
That one is very difficult, but it can be done. Because for you to really have the understanding to observe means that understanding must give rise to that understanding that there is no one to observe, understand? In fact, the one that is observing is actually the pure awareness itself, where you are with the pure awareness. That is your true mind, your silent mind. It's not a being. It cannot come out and live life. That's why it's not easy. So that silent observation is by the awareness itself. The moment you are without thought, actually that awareness nature manifests. But that nature, when it manifests, it cannot do anything, understand or not? There is no word, no content of consciousness, nothing. It's just the pure nature, which is just aware. Then we have this thought process, mundane mind, that is dependent originating from there. But most living beings don't understand. That's why they did the opposite. They thought the two are the same because they never have a chance to realize the silent mind, which is our pure awareness nature. So the silent observation is the pure awareness nature observing. There is no one observing. But that nature is just aware. Means whatever phenomena that manifests within the awareness, it can pick it up. It can see the movement. Then it can develop the understanding of how things arise and pass away. How all this so-called spiritual law that governs life and existence, the karma niyama, the chitta niyama, and the dhamma niyama, how they manifest and created the existential world via the law of karma, the law of mind, and law of truth. And these are the powerful understanding that can give rise to profound wisdom. That's why the meditative understanding and training, when understood, the meditation become very easy. Okay, very good. You continue. Just now you just started to
think that if you are observing the thoughts, and then when you are really silent, you will find that sometimes the thought wants to come, but when you put your awareness there, the thought just disappears. It doesn't arise.
sadhu, very good. That is the difficult part where a lot of people cannot do. Because most people is using the thought to recall to memory, and they say they are observing their anger. Actually, it's another thought, observing the memory of the anger. That's why the memory, through the recollection, is yeah, I still have anger, or I still have fear. This is actually the thought telling you, understand? Because when you are really observing, means the awareness, the pure awareness inside there, is one with that fear or anger. Then when it's one with it, there is no movement, where there is no thought, no duality. And you are right, the thought disappears. Understand? The moment you are truly with the awareness, the thought disappears. That is the beauty of this understanding. And when you do it correctly, that's what happens. And most of the time, the awareness is there. You can only develop the understanding when you have stabilized it, then you see it clearly. For the first time in their life, they realize there is this pure awareness nature without thought manifesting inside. Yeah. Then from there, if they continue to silence, they realize the thought movement from there is very fast. Like lightning, very fast. Split second, it come out already.
Yeah.
That stage is the most beautiful. Once you understand that, then you know you have two minds. Then you need to continue to stabilize it. Then after that, the understanding will arise by itself. Very good, Nancy, Sadhu.
Dear, for your guidance, your patience.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, most Kayamita, this slowly getting into it and develop the understanding already. And for your case, I think this is a very important understanding. You penetrate this and you continue to have faith and diligently train. Now is the stability of daily mindfulness.
That's true.
Once you get that done, then your progress will be very fast, very fast. It will be faster than what you are going through now. But at least now you can see the result of it, because when you can, through your own understanding, explain to me that every time you listen to my sharing, the understanding of the Dhamma becomes clearer and clearer. And that is the correct progress already. Otherwise, it cannot run. Well, most people cannot understand what I share nowadays. Well, nowadays, I share the direct teaching, like Huining, immediately go into the state of no thought, the 无念的境界, the first hallmark of no thought. When you cannot realize no thought, means you have not realized your true mind, your silent mind, means you still cannot understand what sati is, the real sati. But the moment you realize the true mind, which is a silent mind, which is just tranquility, stillness, and awareness, the pure awareness nature. And that one is very beautiful. Where without thought, without anything to delude or distract you, means there is clarity. It's like without the cloud to cloud your pure awareness nature, like the sun's ray. There is nothing to obscure the sun's ray, which is our pure awareness nature. Then we can see the ray clearly, the pure awareness nature manifesting clearly. And through that, you develop a lot of understanding. All the movement, activity, phenomena, they arise from there. Because without all these external causes and conditions, this phenomena cannot arise. May it be physical, mental, or nature's phenomena. Sorry, excuse me. All this need causes and conditions. And within our conditioned world, our existential world, the causes and conditions are everywhere because of the creation process. how from the pure nature, the first to arise is the pure awareness nature. And from there, it triggers off the mundane mind, the five aggregate of form and mind. Then from there, how it continue the creation process by creating the phenomenal world of consciousness, like the physics experiment through the sense basis upon contact. The light bulb light up means it makes the being conscious. Conscious of what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you tactile feel and think. And from that moment onward, the brain, the memory, the conditioning, the belief system, everything, they will come in and stir that mundane mind and create the heedless thinking, the delusion, everything. That's why without all this movement, there is no existence, no conditioned world. And all this are mind make. That's why the Buddha started by teaching Dhammapada verse 1 and 2. Mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. That's why they also use the word mind make a day. That's why everything arises from the mind. So the whole karmic process, the whole karmic conditioning, leading to all the pancha niyamas, they manifest from that true nature. That's why towards the end, when you return to the source, the mundane mind realizes itself and cease. Then only that process of returning to the source can manifest. But it's not a being that return. There is nobody return. It's the mundane mind that realizes itself and cease. Once the one cease, then the pure awareness nature is there. But when you realize the enlightenment, after the wisdom is all perfected and understood, then this pure awareness also ceases. That's how Nibbana can be realized. It will bring you back to the unconditioned, which is the pure awareness, nature and beyond. So this unconditioned is what we call the source. Some call it the original nature, means originally before anything arises, it's already there. That's why they say it's a source, the beginning of all things. And sometimes they call it the singularity or the oneness nature. Then the mind like to use the word 本来的面目, original nature, means our original nature. Before everything arises, that was your nature. Actually, that was every being's nature. But from there, all the form and mind manifest through the karmic conditioning. So all this four circle formation and the creation process, when you develop the full training, means you do the fourth support leading to the Bodhisattva way training, then you will understand extensively, very much more deeply, what all this is all about. And then only the whole picture can become clear. Very good, Nancy. Sadhu.
Brother Teo. I'll see you this next weekend, isn't it? Next week.
16, yeah.
Okay.
So it's 12 o'clock, reach there, right?
I think reach to the restaurant. 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock. But those can arrive early,
Yeah.
Like the previous year, I think. By the time we reach there, we need to look for car park.
But that place,
we need to go into the restaurant.
different
But
restaurant.
normally we will go there early.
Okay. Then
On our side, who is going?
I think the whole group that went to where did they go?
Chiu Hua San.
I think about 80% of them are there.
Okay, good. So which
Then
means you must let me know who shall I contact to come and fetch me and my wife. Uh, uh,
Tracy is not driving. Tracy, your daughter.
oh, she can drive, I think. Okay.
Either her or
Uh,
PG. PG says she can drive, Brother Teo.
you ask PG to come better. You ask
PG,
PG to come. Yes.
I think probably two cars.
Yeah,
And
his car just nice. He
then,
one person only.
yeah. And
Mm.
then brother Sui An and
Mi
brother
Fong. Mi
uh,
Fong also there.
Mifong is coming, yes.
Yeah.
And together with Pak Masuri and husband.
Pamasuri and Teo. Teo. Yeah.
Sister, what's her name? She has firm lah, but she's in China now. She's with the
Okay. I know.
okay.
Okay.
I will,
I would like to check with you. Maybe if did you invite Chan and Waifan or not?
no, not included.
Oh, can
Want
you
to
include them? They can
uh,
come and fetch me because they used to fetch me around.
ah
Chan did tell me if need transport, can contact him.
okay.
So include them, two of them.
All of them
They are on the online.
online.
I
Okay.
think they can hear. So
I will,
Chan, Wai Fan, I will forward you the detail.
yeah.
I will forward them the detail. Okay.
Hello, Amitabha,
Amitabha Poh Cheng. Just now we tried to get you, but you were in the washroom, I think.
Yes.
uh,
Sorry about that.
don't worry.
Amitabha, Mrs. Teo and all kind with us. Yes.
Yeah.
I heard Sister Nancy was talking, so let her
Mm.
continue with the sharing.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah.
Yeah. And Sister Nancy has made progress.
Yes, I do.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Rejoice in
very good. Yeah.
progress as well.
Mm.
And Brother Chan and Sister Waifun as
Wi-Fi,
well.
yeah, Wi-Fi, yeah.
Waifun as well. Yes.
Mm.
Everybody making good progress, and they are diligently cultivating the daily mindfulness, which is a very important step.
Yeah.
Stabilize the sati.
Yeah.
So sati like right here is super important.
Yeah, super important. And it's also today our topic.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Since today's topics are just talk about sati,
Yeah.
Just to kind of like recall what I have done initially.
That will be useful for many of the Kayamita.
Yes, correct. So for me personally, daily mindfulness and of course the formal meditation is very important in the
Yeah.
initial.
Both must be done.
Yeah, both must be done.
Mm.
So if you can do it, actually the duration, length of duration is not important, but
Yeah.
you must do it frequently enough so that stabilize the sati.
Correct. Yes.
Initially,
The consistency is very important.
yes, correct. Like Brother Teo used to always tell us, a lot of people does not understand what sati is. Actually, you cannot understand sati is by the words until you experience it for yourself.
Correct. Sadhu.
So the words itself, I mean, to me, personally, to me, when I read Brother Teo's book, I mean, Brother Teo, a lot about sati in Brother Teo's books, and I come to realize that, wow, Brother Teo has been talking about it, and I know nothing much about it, until I experience it myself, and I truly understand the depth of the meaning of the words. So the word itself actually mean nothing to you unless you experience
unless you realize it and experience it.
Yes,
When
correct.
that mind really completely still, quiet, no thought, no movement, no activity, then for the first time you have a glimpse of what that pure mind is, the true mind, without thought, without content. Then from there, as you stabilize it, you see this one very fast. You want to create thinking, thought process, the various sankhara mind state, because this has been the living being's habitual tendency and habitual behavior. That's why most of the time they think a lot, they are lost in thought. And lost in thought because the mind cannot understand the awareness aspect of the true mind. And the mind keep on searching, wanting to know, wanting to experience. That's why it thinks. And the thought process becomes like very active. Then most of the time before they have the Dhamma understanding, they have avijja. That's why avijja paccaya sankhara. Wanting to know, wanting to understand, you start to think. So the heedless thinking comes from ignorance, avijja. We are the lack of understanding. But when you have the wisdom, actually you hardly think. You only think when you need to think. Otherwise, there is no necessity to create unnecessary thinking. That's why heedfulness and heedlessness is two worlds apart. The heedless behavior of living beings are the unenlightened Putujanas. Whereas the enlightened being, they hardly think. They are most of the time heedful, aware. When you are heedful and aware, means you hardly got any thought. But as I always explain, if you need to live life, you need to arise the thought, where we have to communicate. We have to do a lot of things where society requires us to do, even going around the vicinity of the place you live, because we have our need, physical need. We need to have food. We need to have our daily whatever subsistence and requirement. Then we have our duty and our other like work-related thing. It may not be career anymore after you retire, but you still have your basic career responsibility and need, and also interest. So all this involves living existence. So to go through life, you need to arise the thought process. But with the wisdom born of the direct seeing, the Dhamma understanding, then you can live life with that understanding. Then life becomes different. You can live because you have the understanding of both the conditioned Dhamma and the unconditioned Dhamma. Then you are not deceived by the phenomenal world of consciousness. Then whatever arises within the movement of the five aggregate of form and mind, you have the wisdom and the understanding. That's why that one makes you different. Otherwise, it's not easy. A lot of people find it very, very difficult to actually develop the understanding of the Dhamma, the teaching, and even to realize that true mind and to stabilize that sati. To a lot of people, it's like impossible, where they are so used to the thought process. So heedful living and heedless living is world apart. Okay, I pass back to you, Poh Cheng. Yeah, you continue. Yeah.
But talking about heedful and heedless living, right?
Ah.
Initially, when we are heedless, okay, and when we realize the sati, it's very profound, it's very shattering,
Yes,
It's very
yes.
shattering. It's like, oh my God, suddenly you like crossing over from a very congested, heedless
Correct.
mind to a very empty and very clear, no clouds, like Brother Teo always say,
Sadhu, sadhu. Very
So
good.
it's like
Yeah,
very shattering to you, one. It's like, how
correct.
you say,
That's why
it's like
after that, you
shattering.
cannot fall back to the old way. No way already. Right? Because how can you go back to the old way, which is so heedless? So much stress and delusion. And all those thought activity, they are actually frivolous. Most of them are not worth even thinking. Because these are all their wrong thoughts. A lot of their like and dislike, jealousy, hatred, fear, emotion, insecurity, all these are very negative mind state, very eerie. And who can really stay in that state unless they are deluded? That's why those who have already developed the heedfulness training and understanding, and they already experience heedful living, they cannot go back to the old way. No way. That's why this transformation is like not temporary one. It's immediate and no more returning to the old way. Because the one that experience it, like what you have gone through, is so different, so beautiful. And in the appendix, I also share the difference between heedful living and heedless living. The trained mind and the untrained mind, the two are very, very different. And when you read through that one with the cultivation, you become very different. That's why this type of understanding is pacetang, can be realized by the wise each for themselves. And there is no turning back on. It's very beautiful. Sadhu, you continue. Yeah, Puja.
Yes, exactly. No turning back. That's a very good word to say, you know, because you have really experienced it and you know the so-called world apart difference. So you pressure, heedful living, you know, and you know how to filter all the rubbish also, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you just know that, this one, if I think about it, I will have like headache, you know, brother.
Yeah.
Anything that is heedless one, give me a lot of headache. I can do it, you know.
And
You go into it, you
unnecessary
feel the pain, you know.
suffering.
Yeah, it's the subtle suffering that you feel it very strongly, you know. You
You
quickly have
feel
to
it very
exit.
strongly and you will never allow it to happen. Because no point. And all these are like delusion that condition all this unnecessary wrong thought. That's why I prefer to teach the new people what are wrong thought. Thought that condition their fear, their worry, their anxiety, their sorrow, their lamentation, their insecurity, their phobia. All these are wrong thoughts. Then I summarize it. Whenever you are unhappy and not peaceful, the wrong thoughts are there, the evil roots are there. This is to point out to them so that they can be reminded that they need to train their mind to be heedful, to be aware, so that they can develop the understanding to break free from the delusion caused by Sakaya deity and Avijja earlier on. Very good, sadhu.
Thank you, Matthew, for the kind the sharing that you help us to understand fully this heedlessness and the wrong thought. You know that
Correct.
we actually this wrong thought is very subtle. Sometimes it just come into your mind.
Yeah, a lot of them are
You,
caught without knowing that they are caught in wrong thought. They become miserable. They went
yes,
into depression and all this.
because they hold on to it so tightly, so
Correct. Yeah.
tenaciously. They think it's something good, but actually it's really all this bad.
Because they go back to their old way, the habitual way, which say, I have this problem. See, they hold the problem in the thought, understand or not? So that fear is a result of their thought projection. But it's not a reality. Because the Monday mind created it. Then they always say, Ayo, now die already lah. This thing, if it come out into the public when everybody know, how am I going to face my family? How am I going to face society? How am I? All these are what the thought tell you. But the reality is, what happened is the reality. Based on your action, your karmic past, your causes and conditions, then it unfolds. And these are reality. You have to confront them. And you don't know how to confront and don't know how to do the needy to reverse all this, means you don't have the Dhamma. That's why they suffer. They continue to hold on to that fear, that worry, that anxiety, that wrong thought tenaciously. Well, they, like I give the example, remember? The hot boiling tumbler or whatever that you are holding on, molten hot. Why must you hold on to that thought and say, I cannot put it down so that it does not burn me and torment me? Why? Because this is my problem. They keep on holding to that problem. And the thought that cling on to that problem tenaciously is a deluded thought, a wrong thought that don't have to understand it. That's why I reverse it by saying, whenever you are not happy and not peaceful, means the evil roots are there, the wrong thoughts are there. And through that, you detect it very fast. Then you contemplate, you reflect, then you develop the wisdom as taught by the Buddhas. Learn to see things as they are, not what your thought tell you, so that it triggers all the unnecessary fear, worry, anxiety that compounded your suffering. That's why when you understand all this, you become different. Then the other thing that I add on is, no amount of fear, worry, anxiety, sorrow, lamentation, all this mind state can help you. Cannot. It will make you worse. That negative energy born of fear, worry, anxiety is not a spiritual faculty. It's a mental hindrance. It prevents you from entering the meditative state of inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness. That's why that fear is a very negative emotion, energy. Then you will worry about it for what? It cannot solve your problem. It cannot let you have the clarity of mind to see things clearly. When there is clarity, you can see things clearly. Then you contemplate what actually happened. Then you reflect on it. How can I resolve all this amicably? We are following the Noble Eightfold Path. That's how you practice the Dhamma. That's how you put the Dhamma understanding into cultivation. Then reverse all this. Need to ask for forgiveness. Ask for forgiveness. Then apply Noble Eightfold Path to resolve all this amicably. Means with right view, accept what happened. These are nature's law. Not about the individual. It's about nature's law that governs all of life and existence. So when you understand this, when you have come to the understanding, then you can accept things as they are. Means you are at peace. You no longer stir your mind. You no longer develop the fear or get angry to blame, to do all those foolish things. So when you accept, you have the clarity, the peace, which means you have wisdom. If you don't accept, you create thought activity, emotion and movement, which actually make you worse. That's why acceptance via right view is very important. Whatever arises, there are causes and conditions, and most of the time it's karmic. So if I know this is it, I resolve it. It has a lot to do with the First Noble Truth realities. Then one by one, I can resolve it through understanding. Right thought will be the next one. Then right thought means no negativity. Then speak wisely. Speak with understanding. That leads to harmony. No more negativity of mind state. So, right view leading to right thought, that condition, the right speech and right action is very important. And the way we have relationship with people. So when we have Noble Eightfold Path quality, then we will have all the virtue to actually talk to people nicely. That's why nice, pleasant, and gentle speeches and very like understanding type of speech and action actually can give rise to understanding, and people will tone down and accept your apology. Because when you say, I'm really sorry if I caused you any misunderstanding or harm, I like to sincerely ask for forgiveness. Then once they hear this, they will not get angry because your speech are all proper, gentle, pleasant, harmonious, and lead to harmony, lead to understanding. No more negativity like to hit people's ego or those things. No more. So the application of noble evil power is very, very important. It is another big field of training to develop the understanding, to have the embodiment of the noble eightfold path, to live life. That part you need to also make a note, and later on, after you have developed the understanding, you still need to cultivate the noble eightfold path to develop the noble eightfold path qualities, so that you have the embodiment of them, and then you can live life beautifully. Okay, I think we have to end. Puja, can you wrap it up? Yeah.
Yes, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, therefore, you're training our mind to be mindful and skillful, aware, with the
Yeah,
sati is most important.
very
And
important. Yeah,
yes, and usually the hindrances are the one that causes us from
correct.
entering the
Yes,
meditative state
yes.
of. So that itself is we need to be aware of it, like all these
Mm.
five mental hindrances, because
Yeah, yeah.
any one of these can just creep in our
Yeah, yeah,
meditation,
yeah.
and whether in our formal meditation or in our daily life as well.
Correct.
Uh,
Yes.
then, especially in the daily life, we always forgotten. Actually, these five mental hindrances always slip
Yeah,
into
yeah.
our
They
mind
keep on
all the
manifesting,
time. Yeah,
especially
keep
sensual
manifesting.
desire, you will like and dislike. The
Correct,
habitual
correct.
stirring of mind and reaction of mind. That one
Yes,
need wisdom to stabilize and to
yes.
prevent it from arising.
Correct, correct.
Mm.
So, and then after that, like what Brother Theo said, right? We must cultivate the noble eightfold path, right?
The embodiment of the Noble Eightfold Path factor, so that you can deal with life situation, so that
Correct,
you can
correct.
resolve all life situation amicably. That one
Yes,
also good training. That
yes,
one
yes,
last time I apply a lot when I help people. Uh,
yes, yes. That,
uh,
that one, actually, to live life, you need this all the time, Brother
yeah,
Theo.
the Noble
And,
Eightfold Path factor. Yeah,
yeah,
uh,
so this noble eightfold path actually help us to deal with all
yeah.
the
The life
rubbish in our
situation, all the rubbish and all the
situation.
problem. The
Correct,
first
correct,
noble through suffering.
correct, correct.
Mm.
So very useful. I find that
Yeah, yeah.
that you
Very
keep
useful. Yeah,
you have to remind yourself that these are the tools that you can use to deal and to live your life, so
yeah,
that
yeah.
you can avoid the suffering. If you don't have
Mm.
that, you still can have the suffering, you know, of your first noble true suffering. There's so many eight realities. So it helps.
Mm.
I find that all this the noble eightfold path is very useful to keep us
Sadhu.
on the right track, on the right
Yeah,
path,
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
we do not deviate, brother Theo, that
Correct.
we
But that
deviate
is
from
the path that will lead to the end of all suffering. If you don't
correct,
have that, you cannot end suffering. And you
correct,
cannot end your own suffering. How can you help people end their suffering? That's why
correct,
you
correct,
must have the embodiment of Noble Eightfold Path. Uh,
correct. Thank you, Theo. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your
Yeah,
teaching and
sadhu. Yeah,
session,
yeah.
teaching us all this and
Rejoice.
remind
Yeah.
all the
Okay.
time,
Thank you.
which I find very useful. Thank you, Brother
Yeah,
Theo.
yeah.
And I
Let us.
recently I stopped reading
Uh,
Brother Theo again. It was so beautiful. It's like how come I never. I mean, some of the books I really realized about Theo that,
yeah, yeah,
how come I never read the book before? I thought I read it before, Brother Theo taught me
yeah.
before. So it was so beautiful that I find that it's very useful and it reminds me again, and again.
Yeah, that's why
Although it's
when you listen to it again or read it again, especially the Heart Sutra, a lot of very beautiful teachings are there.
Correct. So I also agree with Sister Nancy. When
Yeah.
you listen to Bharatiya's teaching, it becomes clearer and clearer, and
Clearer and clearer,
wonderful,
yes.
amazing that you can apply it in our daily life. That's the
Mm.
most important thing. Thank you, Bharatiya.
Okay, thank you.
Sadhu.
Sadhu. Let us rejoice. Sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu. Okay, we will do the sharing of merits, transfer of merit, then we end. Akasata Chilbumata Devanaga Mahindika Punyang Tang Anumoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Ittawata Camehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabbasampati Siddhya Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo Idang me nyatinang hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo Devo asadukalina sasa sampati hetu cha Fito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko Imina punyang kamina Mami bala samagamo Sattang samagamo hotu Yawa nivana patiya Sadhu Sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can now pay respect mindfully to Lord Buddha,观音Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end. Sadhu.